Hello, and welcome to this midday taste challenge. Oh, this is going to make up for Sunday because I was going to do one Sunday morning Dawn Busters, but I started thinking about it, and although it's not untenable, it's not like I can't do it. I thought it'd be a lot less stressful and more relaxing to do it now instead of having to try to work under the gun of the clock on Sunday. And then Saturday, I'll still do the Saturday examination, then next week pick up, Tuesday pick up on the normal schedule of Dawn Busters. I just got off the phone a few minutes ago with Buffalo Trace Sazerac, but they were telling me that that's where their customer service and their warehousing is. And the man just told me that all our pallets are controlled by robots. I said, okay. And so I was trying to find out about a Canadian whiskey called James Fox, F-O-X-E, which apparently came out in 1976. I saw it at a store in Madisonville, Louisiana, on Louisiana Highway 22 westbound. But that's a long way, and they only had the plastic jug bottles handle. Called Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. Okay, he says, where are you looking? I give him my town, close to New Orleans. Okay, he starts looking up. He said, well, James Fox is normally a northern state distribution, but he said, let me check Louisiana. Oh, so he's looking. I'm just listening to him. Oh, yeah, we got a lot shipped out. Just got shipped out this week. Oh, double shipment for he says, for the holidays, November, December, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Okay. He said, oh, okay. Kansas City Southern. All right. Railroad. So he starts looking up. Let me check. Okay. He said it was shipped to this. The first store, I can't remember what he told me. The first store. The second one was called Texmart on Chef Mentor Highway, US Highway 90. And the third was called Savannah Discount on Louisiana Highway 45, Barataria Boulevard. Oh. They're not too close to me, not too far. But I said, can you tell me the distributor? He did. Republic National. So I just called them. Yeah, we got it. I said, what bottle sizes? The little plastic, 2-size plastics, the fifth, which is $7.50, a liter glass bottle, and the big PET, the plastic handle bottle. I said, that's what I want. She said, well, we can't sell it to you. I said, well, I know that. I understand that. I just wanted to know about it. I said, I think I'm going to order it through a grocery store here. Yep, she said you could do that. So I think I'm going to order the $7.50. Hopefully the price will be okay. I don't want to pay some ridiculous price for a $7.50, but they've got glass. So if they got glass, one of those 3 stores have glass bottles. So I'm going to check Mathern's, one of those stores. You see, probably Mathern's, and I'm going to see. Hey, no big rush. Okay, all I know now, they got it. They've got it, and I can get it, and I'm going to get glass. All right, on with the taste challenge. Somebody was viewing, they probably got off there. I don't want to listen to this story. The story times are fun, aren't they? All right, so we got Canadian Limited. So this goes to show you, if you call Sazerac Company, they have the best customer service. They'll tell you what store. They can't tell you the bottle size. They'll tell you the store, and then you can call the store and get the bottle size. Okay, well, or the distributor, at least the store said, you got to come in. We can't go look at all the bottles. I said, okay, that's all right. So here's Canadian Limited. Somebody said they call it where they live, they call it Canadian LTD, but I think that's should be pronounced Canadian Limited. Well, if you want to call it LTD, that's fine. There's the crest, the beaver, the 2 lions wearing crowns, 2 more crowns on the shield, fleur-de-lis, and it says limited. So that's why I'm calling it Canadian Limited, because it says limited. I mean, I don't know how limited it is. You can get it at every liquor store, seem like, in the world, or in America. I got it at Walmart. It's $7.42 at Walmart for this liter, or a fifth, the old name for it, the old English system. Now we're using metric. Bottled by Fleischmann Distilling Company, Owensboro, Kentucky. So that's who introduced it in 1972, Fleischmann's. Well, you know what? Fleischmann's was bought out by Sazerac. LTD, Limited. Oh, damn. I didn't buy this to spill it. Well, I didn't spill but a few ounces, but I don't know why my execution is so poor. Don't hire me to pour your liquor. I don't know. All right. Sorry about that. I delay it by telling a story about distribution, which to me is an important story because it shows you that some companies have fantastic customer service, and Sazerac is one. And he said, call anytime. We'll give you the information. Any of the products. I said, awesome. So here we got Black Velvet Reserve, the 8-year aged. Okay. Introduced in 1991, 19 years later. I'm gonna pour too much. Sorry about that. And it has that Canadian insignias and all, aged in oak. Well, barrel aged in oak. They're all aged in oak. But maybe people don't know that, so they see that and say, ooh, aged in oak, as opposed to all those other ones that are just aged in oak. It's got this crest with no animals, just like fancy ivy work. And a crown, of course. They always have a crown for Canada. 4 diamonds. Why they have 4 diamonds, I don't know. Maybe it's 2 things 4 times equals 8. I don't know. I don't know. It's got the old 1970s Black Velvet thing on the side there, though. Like in those old commercials. You look in the old magazine ads. With a lot of famous models, too, by the way. And actresses. Cheryl Tiegs and all of them. All right. Well, I've been pleased with it. It was only $10.99 after all. Let's turn on the video over here. Mute it. Turn on the video, see if anybody wants to leave any comments. Monitor that. Oh, I gotta be careful not to spill things, man. But I was so excited about James Fox. Now, you might laugh and say, that ain't nothing. James Fox is a run-of-the-mill, like Canadian Limited. What are you doing? I know it is. But I was just intrigued by it because it has an unusual label design. It looks like something from 1976. That's the year it came out. It looks like they never changed it. And I was also fascinated by the fact that when James Fox first debuted, there was an article in the New York Times about this new whiskey from Seagram's, James Fox, and oh, it's going to be a big deal, and they want to appeal to a certain customer and all of this stuff. I was like, golly, I didn't know they had an article about the dang thing. And then I guess when Seagram's collapsed 14 years later, that was it for the promotion. But I never saw an advertisement for James Fox. Who is James Fox? I don't know. I think it's a real person. Oh, man. I'm going to try to get every Sazerac brand of whiskey and review it. Yeah, even the Pappy Van Winkle, an $800 bottle, whatever. Okay. I'm going to make the meat. I'm going to make all the meat. All right. So, yep, BV, Black Velvet, and LTD, Ford LTD. All right. No, Canadian LTD, Canadian Limited. The appearance, well, they look the same. Okay, as some of you may have known, or may know, because some of you watch these taste challenges, I've been having a lot of problems. Some viewers say, yeah, you've had a lot of problems. You got a lot of problems. No, I've got a lot of solutions. I've been having a lot of problems with the Black Velvet Reserve because I keep getting it mixed up with these other underlings, these bottom shelf things. But you know what? I can't help that. If I'm smelling it, tasting it, commiserating about it, talking about it, trying to predict, and I can't get it, if I can't tell it apart, I can't tell it apart. You see what I mean? So that is not necessarily an indictment against Black Velvet, like, oh, it just doesn't live up to its 8-year aging or any of that. I don't think that's the case. I think it's well done. They know what they're doing. That means they started aging the first batch in 1983. Then here comes 1981. And is continually produced. And there's a whole write-up on C brands, Constellation brands. Okay, so get on there and you can just have a research field day. They talk about the distillery, how they construct the. Now you got to give Canadian. You got to give Constellation brands credit. Their website has some problems, like it's not good in some ways, but in other ways it's exceptional, and that is their detailed, their intricate, detailed discussion of each product they make. And I don't care how bad it is. Okay, like you say, not MD 2020. Yes. Well, no, that's a different company. Oh, Wild Irish Rose. Okay, Manischewitz, though they make Manischewitz. Wild Irish Rose. Although the MD 2020 company is pretty detailed too. That's a different group, but they're kind of interesting. But okay, so you get Wild Irish Rose Moscato. You say, oh, that's the ultimate bum wine. It might be a bum wine made out of grape jelly juice. I don't know. Okay. Something's coming from grapes. Okay. And that is a rugged product. If you can drink that, you could drink anything. And I drank the whole thing, and it was 17% alcohol. Let me repeat, 17%. Oh, our chihuahua, yikes. But their description of those are so detailed, and they go into all about the grapes and what they use, and so it's fascinating. So if you get on the website and look up, it's all PDF files, though, so you got to bring it up. I don't know how that's going to work on a phone. You might catch hell trying to look at that, because I've known other people try to look stuff up on the phone. It ain't working. It's not working. They get so frustrated. I said, well, you know, I'm sitting at a desktop. It's kind of more appropriate for that kind of research, really. But oh, just the intricate detail, how they construct this whiskey. It's great. Now, Sazerac gives you a good lineup. They don't go into much detail, okay, if any. So here we go. The color is the same, so that's not going to differentiate it. That means tell it apart. All right, I'm just kidding. I know people know what that means. All right. You would think, right? You would assume that the limited is going to be so obvious because of the natural flavors added. But when these things start to breathe, and that initial rush of scent dissipates, man, it becomes difficult. I don't know why. It does that with beer too. Like you get these really skunky beers and people say it's skunky. The Heineken skunky. The Stella Artois skunky. The Grosche skunky. I drank the Grosche. It's skunky. But like Stuart Pickard, he doesn't really do too many videos anymore. He was saying he was telling me that on a hangout. Just let it set for 1 minute. It's not going to be skunky. It'll all whiff away, and he's right. Oh, okay. It's got that full nose again, that punchy, that you got to experience it to, you can't really describe it. Like you have to experience it. It's like a puffy nose. I said this morning. It's almost like the nose has body. You see what I'm saying? The aroma has body to it. It's strange. I know the flavorings are probably plum wine, cocktail sherry. I'm thinking cocktail sherry. I don't know why. I just think I really have an envie to buy that cocktail sherry again. I love drinking that whole liter, man. That thing was good. And guess how many video reviews they had for it? None but mine. Could have changed, been years. Might get on there and be 40 reviews, but I have a sneaky feeling that is not. So this is kind of, it's so many different things here. Candy, corn. That's got to be like what? Corn, distilled corn. And then there's these other things. Plum, wine. Could it be rum? A light rum? There's a lot going on there. You say, ain't no way a lot's going on for no $7.42 a bottle at Walmart. Well, I'm telling you right now, there is a lot going on. This one doesn't have all that big nose. Now, remember this morning I got it mixed up and I had the BV as the Albertsons and the Albertsons at the BV. So I'm getting that big nose. I'm getting that big nose. So I'm thinking that must be the Black Velvet, but it was that rye note that gave it away, because I was saying, oh, it's rye, therefore it's Sazerac, therefore it's Albertsons. Wrong. It was Black Velvet. So I'm going to think that the signpost today, the signpost, if it's high rye, it's going to point towards the Black Velvet Reserve. Greetings from Russia. Cool Drink Review says, I can't read your name, but I can't read Cyrillic, but I appreciate your name. I do appreciate your name, but I appreciate you joining. Okay. This nose is much thinner. It's a thin nose. It's just kind of watery whiskey with the barrel. Yes. Wood, some char, but just wood. Like we've talked about, the toothpick wood. Oh, okay. I kind of like it. It's very mild and mellow. So can you get a really good whiskey for less than $11? Well, I don't know about you, but I can. Oh, there's just candy sweetness. It is not an off-putting, disgusting. Got to start fixing lunch soon. I got that spinach salad waiting to roll, waiting to go. Oh, yeah, it's really something else, man. There's wood. There's rye. There might be wheat. Barley. Oh, yeah. Corn. Well, I mean, you know, it's a lot of corn. What did they say on the Black Velvet website? Oh, well, the Constellation brand website. They use grain neutral spirits as the base. I don't know why that would surprise anybody. What is that? 99% of the time in the Western world, Scotland, Ireland, England, United States, or if they produce whiskey in these other countries, Spain, España, it's going to be corn. Now, in the Eastern world, India, Bangladesh, Thailand, China, Japan, it's going to be rice. You can tell, I mean, almost instantly you can tell that's rice. This is corn. And I don't know, it's almost like the mouth feels different. There's something about it. My friend David was very put off by the rice from the Suntory Tokai and the other ones. I said, no, I like the rice. It's different, but it doesn't make it bad. Peter, my name is Peter. We eat whiskey with pickles. Pickles? Well, okay. I like pickles. All right. All right. That's a very interesting flavor. Very, very interesting. I mean, really interesting. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of wood here and rye spice. So they're saying they're using grain neutral spirits. That's corn distilled to its 100% alcohol, basically, and it's cut with water. And then they start to add the corn high wine, the barley high wine, the wheat high wine, perhaps rye high wine. Those are really super strong distilled beverages that you can't drink. The proof would probably almost kill you. It would be unpalatable. It's not made for drinking, okay? It's made for blending. They talk about it on the website. That's what I'm telling you. Constellation Brands is like going to school. And so then they blend it, and then they put it in the bottle. So they blend it before they age it. Now other companies do the opposite. They age, then blend, then bottle. They all claim, you know, they'll all say, oh, it's better this way. I don't know what's better. I'm not a blender. I'm not a master blender. I guess it's just how you look at it. And they're doing the same at Fleischmann's, Sazerac. They're getting all these different, and some of these things will have dozens of whiskeys added. It ain't just thrown together. You might think it's cheap, so it's thrown together and it's trash. It really isn't. Canadian Limited is the 19th best-selling Canadian whiskey in the United States. That's big money. And it always tastes the same everywhere you buy it. There's no off batches. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to say, well, the 2017 was a little off. No, I'm sorry. That does not happen. That's the advantage of the macro products. Is there an advantage for craft products? Oh, yes. You get very exquisite flavors that you wouldn't normally get or possibly not get with macro mass-produced products. Like that Berkshire Mountains distillery, the New England corn whiskey. I never tasted anything like that in my life. Exquisite. But, you know, it might vary year to year, so there could be, you could have that variance. It's a tiny little family-owned outfit, so the quality control might not be there. I don't know. I've only tried one product, and it was $8.99 a bottle, an extremely unusual price. I don't know why it was so cheap, because I talked to people in New England and said, that's not possible. That would never be that cheap in New England. There's no way. I said, I don't even think it'd be that cheap in Louisiana. I don't know what's going on at International Beverages, but I don't ask questions. I just buy it and get out of there. It was an unbelievable product. My friend David didn't like it. He thought it was nasty, and he didn't like the cherry wood. That's his right not to like it. He just didn't like it. He didn't like it. He said he would cook with it. I loved it, but hey, that's how that goes. Some people watch our videos together and they say, oh, he's a bully and you all don't get along and there's conflict and you shouldn't do the hangouts together. And I was saying, no, people are misinterpreting that. There is conflict and we don't agree on many things, but that's the fun of it. That's how we look at it. If there's a struggle, you know, and we still want to, we want to examine the products. We want to look at them. We don't even agree on how to look at it. He wants to add ice. I say, no, I don't want to add ice. To me, that's insanity, you know, but he thinks, oh, it's good. I mean, I don't care if people want to add ice. I don't want to add it. All right. Oh, this is a job. You say a job, right? Drinking in the afternoon is, the morning is a job. I don't mean a job like I'm working. I mean, it's a job to figure these out. If there wasn't side effects of drinking alcohol all day, I'd probably sit here all day and do this. It's fun. I mean, of course, I like to watch football and basketball. I was watching a good football game last night. I couldn't stay awake. You could see they was getting away from them, though. It was Akron. No, what am I saying? Toledo, the Rockets, playing Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois ended up beating them up pretty bad. And I was thinking, you know, Toledo used to be so good, and Northern Illinois used to be so bad. It's funny how things have flipped. And I thought, oh, they must have had about 14,000 people there at that game. Looked pretty cold up there, though. You know, they only had like 5,800 people there. I said, golly, I thought people up north were hardy. They could take the cold, but apparently they can't. No more than anybody else. Hello, sir, says Valentin. Peter says, I saw the guy making hooch out of Coke. What do you think about it? I don't like that kind of stuff. But people in prison do that. You have a lot of boxes. I imagine they are full of beer bottles, says Valentin. No, they're full of comic books. Thousands of comic books, which I've read, all of them. Well, except for the new ones that I'm waiting for the storyline to end. Like it might say part 5 of a 6 issue story. So once the story ends, I'll read it. But yeah, I've read them all. All of them. These are not harsh. And they're not bland. I don't know why there's this false narrative in the world that Canadian whiskey's bland and it's not good and people shouldn't drink it. And why are you drinking it? What's happening? To me, that's just totally wrong. I mean, it's just wrong. These have a lot of complexity and they have a lot of flavor. And I'm seeing Canadian whiskey, to me, it seems to be making a comeback. And if I'm part of that, fine, because I think it has a lot, and I have no monetary connection with Canadian whiskey companies. Wish I did. I don't. But I mean, if they were paying me under the table to do this, I'd take the money. They're not going to. It ain't gonna happen. You know that. It's I'm just joking because you know that's not gonna happen. There's got to be, I don't know, there's got to be some kind of wine added to this. Some kind of sherry wine or a port wine. I don't know. It can't be port unless it's a white port. I don't know. It's really weird. Don't let people, I see people get steered away by just people talking to them. You don't want to try that. And then they won't try it. It's like, how do you know they don't want to try it? I mean, let them try it. Be adventurous. Okay. And for this price, there's no downside. What have you lost? A few dollars? People, you could buy a Burger King meal for $7.42 plus tax. It's not going to last you 3 months. How is the Canadian whiskey versus Scottish whiskey? That's a good question. Well, they're a totally different animal. It's like Chinese food versus Italian food. There's crossover. There's pasta, right? So you have noodles and whatnot, and sauce and all of that, and meat. So there's commonalities, but it's so different. So I don't even know if you could properly say versus, Canadian versus Scottish. I think you could just say Canadian, consider that, and Scotch, consider that. But to say there's a crossover, no, it's like saying I watched the Western and then I watched the documentary about expressionism, the expressionism movement in Europe. It just wouldn't, there's no translation to it. It wouldn't, you could enjoy both. Oh, I know. I'm going to try to finish. I'm trying to figure out which is which, and I'm having a heck of a hard time. Yeah, there's something about those flavors added that as you let the whiskey breathe, that whole initial candy corn, Halloween candy thing, it just dies away, and then it just blends into the flavor. I've read the Government of Canada website. You can look it up. It's right there on the internet. It's canada.gov. It's not some guy talking about it. It's the government. They have the regulations. And they say, yeah, we allow flavorings. And then they tell you what the flavorings are. And it is literally natural. It's natural. It's rum, brandy, and even bourbon, which is from America. And all these types of wines. And there's no limit to the wine. It could be any kind of wine. There's just regulations on the wine. It has to be aged for a certain number of years in wooden vessels. Okay, so think about all those different variables. It's like there's no, it is an unlimited ability to make anything when you have those parameters. So it's an adventure that could never end. I mean, the adventure could never end, not in your lifetime or mine. There's no way you could limit that. And that's why I want to try all these whiskeys, because they're not all the same. You say, or I've even said that maybe it's the same stuff in different bottles. But then I say, no, they don't taste the same. It can't be. I just don't, I think they're just, there's a sheet, here's the recipe. A big company like Sazerac, Constellation Brands, it's nothing for them to follow that. It's just an algorithm. Here's the algorithm, punch in the numbers, boom, there it is. You say that ain't an art, that's a science. I know, I didn't say it was an art. It's a science. Now, when you do the blending and you got to smell and taste and you're the distillery master and the blending master, well, yeah, then the art comes into it because a machine can't perceive what the mind can, right? The human mind is much more advanced than a machine, even a computer. The most super of the supercomputers still cannot think. Remember, people design computers. Computers did not design people. See, you got to remember, what is the clay and what is the potter? We're the creator of the equipment. And then we are a creation of the creator, right? Well, as we wrap this up, I have to say, I can't honestly, okay, one more sip. I can't really say which is which. Well, I can. I think I can, but I can't say which is better. No. This really does speak well for Canadian Limited, because if there was ever a brand that you could easily beat up on and attack and get some quick laughs, it would be Canadian Limited. I mean, after all, international market has the huge bottles, the big for $10.99. I mean, there's no cheaper whiskey than that. That's an unusually low price, by the way. But there's something about it. It hasn't been on the market 46 years being terrible. No, didn't say it was world class. No, nobody in their right mind would believe that. Only a fool would get on the internet and say that. And I've never seen a video saying how great it was. I watched a good number of video reviews for it, and they said, yeah, there's something about it. Or they mix it with Coke and they slug it down, you know, so there's that. But I can't get on here and just talk about how garbage it is. I cannot do that. Honestly, I can't do that. I could do that with maybe Hartley VS. Flashbacks. No, I don't want to go there. I could do it with Crystal Palace Gin, but even that, even that. And some viewers say, no, not Crystal Palace Gin. Even that has some redeeming qualities. Seems inexplicably, you know, conceivable, but it does. Okay, I think this is the Limited, but I'm not totally sure, but I do believe it. I do believe it. Okay, so let's, oh boy, I hope that says LTD when I look below there. If I don't, I got a lot of things to work out today. Got a lot of things to work on. Whew. Oh man, it says LTD. Well, I came back from the heart of from the jaws of the dragon. Came back from the jaws of the dragon. Yeah, that was scary. And that's the reserve. Well, I guess the reserve is a little bit better, you know. But, you know, it's not way better. And we're talking 8 years as opposed to no age statement. Well, I think we all know that Canadian Limited is not aged 8 years. I mean, they would tell you that. It's probably aged the minimum 3 years. I mean, why would they not say that? Okay, one more thing. I know it's going long, but it's so fascinating. I can't help it. You can roll your eyes, and I don't blame you for rolling your eyes, but to me, it's like, oh, it's fun. You know, it's so much fun. And you might say, you don't have to put it on there live, though, just because you're having fun. No one else cares. Okay, I understand that. But it's like, share the fun, right? Share the adventure. So, I'll tell you one more thing. Now, I've been talking for like a year, 2 years maybe, but at least a year about this caliber. And there ain't nothing cheaper than caliber. That's getting into the like kind of scary realm. Caliber Canadian whiskey, or caliber gin, or caliber spice rum, or caliber these liqueurs. There's all kind of caliber. Okay. So I've been talking about what? Oh, it's a Walmart brand. It's a Walmart brand. It says IWA Distillers, Louisville, Kentucky. You know that Sazerac. But I got the shock of my life. Well, maybe not the shock of my life, but I got a shock because I'm doing some research the other night on caliber. I said, okay, caliber. I know it's only going to be Walmart that's going to come up, right? Walmart. So I'm typing it in, caliber, Canadian blended whiskey, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was kind of stunned because it said Ace Spirits, Ace. Well, this is an actual liquor store in Minnesota, but you can order online. They'll send it to you. You say, you can't send stuff to the mail. Yeah, you can, but I don't know if it's legal, but you can do it. But anyway, so there it is, caliber. I said, whoa. I said, well, that could be a fluke. So I'm typing in caliber, and I just say next. Ooh, Iowa Liquor Control Board. Now, Iowa is one of those states where you got to buy liquor from their state liquor store, you know, like New Hampshire, and I believe North Carolina. Well, there it is, caliber. I said, woof. Ain't got nothing to do with Walmart, does it? So I started getting scared, like really scared. I said, caliber. I said, maybe it's not a private label brand like I had first believed. Well, that had my whole world twisted around. I said, well, I was fascinated about it already. Now I'm totally obsessed with it, if you want to use that term. So yeah, you know, there's got to be a review coming up for caliber real soon in that insidious plastic only presentation, big, small. And they even had the 375s, not just 750 and 1.75. So I said, yeah, this caliber has got to be addressed soon, and I mean soon. I'm over here talking endlessly about how it's a Walmart private label, and here they are selling it in Iowa at a liquor store that's not Walmart. So it got me pretty shook up, and in Minnesota. So that's the end of that. All right, so last few discussion points, and then I got to go eat that salad, and I got the food coming up. How is the Canadian? Oh, that's it. Okay, we've already talked about those comments. All right, so that's it. Well, I was coming down off the high from this morning at 5:45. I was so excited about Albertsons versus Black Velvet Reserve. I was saying, oh man, it was so much fun. I was like walking, and I was thinking like, oh, it was so much fun. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I got it so confused, and it really held its own. And now, after this challenge, I did tell them apart. But after this taste challenge, I'm just like at a high. I'm never coming down. It's like I'm out there now. So you're saying he's out there. He's really out there now. I know I can't come back. It's like across the Rubicon. You know what I mean? I crossed the line. It's all over now. There's no coming back. But all right, I went into the monolith, and I'm glad I'm in there. All right, thanks for watching this video production. Uh-oh, here's sirens. Perfection Hound says, I've been on a real Kentucky Tavern kick. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, I got a little bit left. I can't wait to do the taste challenge, Kentucky Tavern versus, I was about to say Old Charter. No, Old Forester. If I can't tell those two apart, I'll really have a lot of thinking to do. And I got a lot of thinking to do now just on the Canadian stuff. I'm pretty freaked out about it, but freaked out in a good way. You know what I mean? A good, fun-loving way. Good, fun-loving way. And now for my next trick.